It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I made my way to Home Bargains again for some, well, what did I go for? I first of all went to Iceland to pick up the new kind of twisted brands that they've got, the lasagna filled Yorkshire pudding. But whilst I was down Iceland, they've got a Home Bargains next door. So I thought, get in Home Bargains, have a little look around, see if there's anything new. I bought some chili peanuts. I bought some spicy chicken stuff. I nearly bought the kebab meat, but I thought better of it. Frozen kebab meat from Home Bargains. Thinking to myself, no, I'm not doing that. But anyway, I went down the beer aisle and I found this Skinny IPA. 4% ABV, 330 milliliter can. Only 89 calories, full flavour. It's 40% fewer calories than other IPAs. Well, I just reviewed a pale ale, very similar ABV, 4% ABV, and that was chock full of flavour. My worry with these type of things, and I totally understand slimming and dieting and wanting to take more or less calories into your body. But when my worry is that when someone says, or when you read the back of a can, it says 40% fewer calories than other IPAs, does it mean 40% less flavour? There's only one way to find out. That's getting it out into a glass and seeing what we get. Ooh. I quite like their lager. I think their lager is pretty decent. I've actually worked with this company before. This company sent me a keg of their lager and I reviewed it on my Linda beer machine. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's just over there next to the Stone Crow pump clip. The beer, well, the beer's looking interesting, I must admit. We got a 3-finger white head. Lots of big bubbled carbonation. Now a brewer told me once upon a time, the smaller the bubble, the better the beer. So obviously the larger the bubble, the less of the beer. I mean, we don't know for sure yet. We haven't got into it yet, but there's a lot of suspended sediment in this glass. Again, I don't have a problem with that at all. The beer does look slightly oxidized though. That might be a bit of a problem. It looks like it's oxidized and it's got that kind of brown color. They probably wanted the beer to be a nice bright straw colored, not necessarily bright, but you know what I mean, like a straw colored beer with a bit of haze. But it could be good. It could be good. There's only one way to find out. It was £1.09. £1.09 per can in Home Bargains. So it's relatively cheap for a can of beer these days. Let's get the aroma. Oh yeah. There's a little bit of DMS in here. I've not had a beer with faults in it for such a long time. Looking at the beer, the carbonation was slightly large. The beer looked like it had oxidized. And now the aroma is, there's a little bit of rotting vegetables coming through. Yeah, rotting vegetables, rotting cabbage, DMS. Oh, what a shame. What a shame, because, I mean, of course, we're going to plow on with a review. We always do. I think if people choose to go to Home Bargains and they see this beer, I think some people rely on my reviews to, if I say it's cracking for £1.9 a can, they'll go and buy it. But equally, I don't want people going out buying stuff if there's problems with the beer, because I don't want people to waste their money. So as much as I've worked with skinny brands in the past, going forward, you guys rely on my open, honest thoughts on beer, and I will be posting this video. But yeah, rotting vegetables, let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, diacetyl, loads of diacetyl. So diacetyl is an off-flavouring beer. It's been a long time since I've had diacetyl in a beer too. It used to be very prominent back when I first reviewed beer back in 2010. When I first started reviewing beer in 2010, there was a lot of new breweries beginning to open up, 2011, 2012. And when new breweries open up, there's always teething problems. They're getting used to their kit, they're getting used to their brewing systems. And there was a lot of beer back in the day, 2010, 11, 2012, 13, 14, maybe even up to 2015, where you get a lot of this kind of diacetyl filled beer. It was just a learning process for all of these new craft brewers that were cropping up everywhere. I totally understand the need for skinny brands to sell this beer off. Because, of course, we're in quite tough times, and they would have taken a big financial hit if they would have had to have thrown all of this beer away. But that leads to another problem then, doesn't it? The other problem now is that although they've taken that kind of opportunity to sell all of the stock to home bargains for cheap, people think they're enjoying a cheap beer. Well, the problem is it damages the brand, because now all of a sudden you spent £1.9 on a can of beer and it's got the aroma of rotting vegetables and diacetyl. We'll explain diacetyl in a moment, but I just want to finish my point here in that the problem is if you see a skinny beer in the future, skinny lager, skinny IPA, you're going to be thinking to yourself, I might give that a swerve. I might give that a miss. So I think, even though it would have been a massive financial hit for skinny brands, I think I would have chosen to pour all of this beer away. I think if I wanted to protect my brand and if I wanted to make my brand look like a really good quality brand, I wouldn't have taken the opportunity to sell the whole batch of not very good beer at all to home bargains. It doesn't make home bargains look great either, does it? Home bargains are not looking kind of rosy out of all of this either. Because yet again, you can get some cracking beers in home bargains, you really can. I've just reviewed the Brewgooder and Siren Craft Brew Hazy Pale Ale, and I thought that was magnificent. I give it a 9 out of 10. Fantastic beer for the money. But equally, on the other side of the coin, you can get some great beers in home bargains, but you can also buy some utter rubbish in home bargains. And I'm afraid, on this particular occasion, this is utter rubbish. It smells of rotting vegetables, taste of diacetyl. Let me be quick with diacetyl. Diacetyl is an off-flavouring beer. It's a sign that a couple of things have happened here. Number one, an infection. The yeast has become infected along the way, and it's produced that kind of buttery kind of smooth butter flavour in the beer. The other sign of diacetyl is when you cut a brew off too early, when you rush a brew, when the yeast hasn't stopped fermenting yet, and you stop that fermentation process and you go, right, that'll do, we'll get it out the door as quick as possible. That's another sign of diacetyl. Another reason why diacetyl happens in beer. So plenty of faults then with this one. I know a couple of people at Skinny Brands, and I've got to hold my hands up here and say, hey, I mean, I'm only doing what I do here on YouTube. It's not a direct attack on you guys. I'm just, I've gone to Home Bargains like everybody else. I've spent my hard-earned cash on a can of beer, and it's turned out to be a bit rubbish. And I think people need to see it. So if Skinny Brands, hello, how are you doing? If you're watching this, then my sincere apologies. But, I'm going to have to post this video because you made that decision to put that beer in Home Bargains. It's a very poor beer. It's a 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.